What's up, everyone? All right, well, here we are, third green day in a row, up $1,600, and today's a good day, but I started with a $3,000 winner, and then my second trade was a $4,000 loser, and that was really frustrating. So I was down $900, and from there, I slowly dug my way out of the hole and finished the day up $1,600. I feel like, this digging my way out of the hole is kind of where I'm at, not just on the day. This was similar to yesterday. Yesterday I had a great trade out of the gates, gave back the profit, spent the rest of the day digging myself out of the hole. Same thing today, and this is kind of what I'm doing in the grand scheme of the last 3 weeks, or the last 2 weeks, having, a couple of really big red days, that red streak, and now working on digging my way out. And it can feel, on the one hand, like these 3 days, I haven't made a lot of progress. I made $1,700 on Friday. What did I finish up yesterday? 500 or something like that. I did take some trades in the afternoon. Actually, I guess I was up 1,100. So 1,700, 1,100, 1,600. After losing 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 3 green days that are so small, doesn't feel like a lot of progress. But at the same time, it's about slowly rebuilding with base hits. And my challenge today, I suppose, and yesterday as well, is having a hard gauge on when to walk away. I would have done better if I'd walked away today up 3,000 after my first trade. However, it would have meant that I would have missed the opportunities that I made 2,500 on as I went from down 1,000 to up 1,600. So net, I would have been better off walking away sooner. But is there a way that I could have kept trading today so I could have capitalized on those opportunities that came later in the morning without incurring the losses that I took on the trades that I had on AYTU? That seems like wanting your cake and eating it too, right? But it always feels like if I walk away, I'm going to miss opportunities. And what I suppose forget is that by walking away, although yes, I may be missing some opportunities, that may be true, I am also preventing myself from incurring any surprise losses. The $4,000 that I lost on AYTU, I was not expecting that it would flash down as quickly as it did. I thought I'd be able to have a tighter stop on it, and all of a sudden I'm holding in a halt, going down. And, that's not a lot of fun. So, yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? Is it better to just throw in the towel at 9:35 and potentially miss all those good opportunities? Because sometimes a $3,000 day turns into 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,000 or higher because I keep trading and I capitalize on the opportunities. But yesterday and today, continuing has gotten me into the red. So, maybe have to adjust for different markets. All right, well, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the recap, and I'll see you all first thing tomorrow morning. All right, you guys. So we're going to do our recap for today. I'll go over the trades I took. I'm going to finish the morning up $1,600, which is good, not great. It was unfortunate because I had a really nice trade on YTEN right out of the gates. This was a gap and go trade. And then I proceeded to give back those gains on my losses on AYTU, putting me down almost 900 on the day. And then I spent the rest of the morning trying to dig myself out of the hole. So I got out of the hole from down 900 to up 1,600, which is good, but not the way I really wanted this day to go. And even YTEN was not the easiest one to trade. My trade on this basically was a quick break the pre-market high. The pre-market high was up here at 783. The open was down here, as you can see, at 740. As soon as 740 broke, that's where I pressed the buy button. I was getting filled at 740 and 750. It broke, squeezed up to 786, did a little pullback just for a moment. I added for the break of 8. I sold up here at 810. It came back down. I sold the rest as it dipped back down, waiting for the next entry. And then it ended up breaking through the lows.
so I didn't get another entry. So one trade, $3,100 of profit. And again, YTEN was one of the leading gappers this morning. Where is it? It's right here. So it was 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth leading gapper this morning. So that was YTEN. Second trade, AYTU. This one is just so discouraging. My first trade on it was right here. I was buying, anticipating the first 1 minute candle to make a new high with a target of a move back to high a day. Well, it ended up dropping down right here, and with 10,000 shares, I lost almost $2,000. So that was a really disappointing trade. It then consolidates for a second, and I got back in. I got back in right here. When it came back up, I was like, okay, this time I think it's going to break 150, and if it breaks 150, it's going back to high a day. So I got back in, and then right here it drops and halts going down, and I stopped out like right here on resumption. So I ended up losing $2,000 on it twice, down almost $4,000. Just had the wrong idea on this one. So I was tempted to try to trade it, down through here and revenge trade and try to make back my money. And I just said, you know what? Let's just leave that stock alone completely. Obviously, I'm not on my game on it, so I'm just going to let it be. So I left it alone, walked away, and switched gears. SFET was the next stock that I traded, and this actually ended up being a really nice trade. So SFET, and we'll look at this on a 10-second chart, so a little faster time frame. It had been fairly strong this morning. It squeezed up to 220, pulled back, came back up, pulled back, and it popped back up right here. And this was the moment where typically I would have been tempted to press that buy button and try to jump in, right at 225. Now that's a double top, and so I left it alone. It came back down to a low of 194 and then started curling back up. But I didn't want to get in right there because, again, that's getting in at a double top. So what I did was I waited for this pullback right here, and this right here was my entry. And that was a nice trade. Then it pulls back again. I got back in a second time right here. A nice pop back up to 265. And then I got back in right here. So first I was up about 400, then 500, then 800. Then I got in right here. Boom, now I'm up 1,000. It's halted, it drops, but then it pops back up through $3. And I actually ended up being up over $1,800 trading the stock. We're going to get a squeeze up to 350 right here. And I jumped in right here. And ooh, that was a mistake. I lost $600. So I went from up 1,800 to up only 1,200. Then it comes back up right here. Pulls back, and I get back in. Oh, a second time, twice. Now I'm up only $200, and I went back to red on the day. Down about 500 on the day. So that was really disappointing. I, in hindsight, had some great trades down here early on, and I kept getting in, out, in, out, in, out, and then a couple of big drops. Of course, those happened to be like two of the biggest drops, but they set me almost all the way back. I probably should have brought down my share size as I was going higher on in my profits, but I didn't. I guess because I was trying to get back to where I was, which was up $3,000. So kind of overtraded this one and then gave back my gains. A couple small trades on OPGN, small little breakout that we had right here, another one right here. Nothing super exciting, but just small breakouts. Specs, a quick little breakout on this one. Oh, it's actually coming back up even more. My trade was at 211, so it was actually right here. But this is nice to see it coming back up. I don't think I'd be interested in going back in it. It's pretty weak on the daily, but I thought that this gap from 210 up to 230 looked good. So I got a little profit on that, and then AIM, AIM. Break a VWAP setup, kind of what like what Specs is doing now, SPEX. This one I jumped in as it curled up right here. Once it was over the VWAP, I got in right here. And so this one, I rode the momentum up. I bought this pullback, rode the momentum up. I did buy a pullback here and got stopped out. So I did give back a little bit of profit on my last trade, but overall it was much better than SFET. So that's where I sit today, $1,600. I would say that I overtraded. In hindsight, I would have been better off if I walked away right after my first trade on YTEN. But when I took my first trade on AYTU, it was strong. I thought it looked good, and I was wrong. I gave back too much of my profit, and then it put me kind of in this catch-up type of mode. Yesterday, I actually did something really similar. My first trade out of the gate, I believe on Specs, I made like $3,500, and then I proceeded to give back that profit as the day went on. On the other hand, I also went from down $900 to up $1,600. So $2,400 of profit between 10:30 and 11 a.m. It was really just this one trade that got me pretty badly, and SFET giving back my gains. So it's kind of a tricky thing, because on the one hand, if I'd walked away at right after my first trade on YTN, I'd be up 3,000, which is certainly better than where I sit right now. On the other hand, that would have meant that I would have missed the opportunities on AIM and SFET, which were both good opportunities, even though I didn't fully capitalize on SFET. So is there a way that I could have kept trading while capitalizing only on the winners without the loser? I don't know. That's the thing that's really tough. And that's the hardest part about walking away, because when you walk away, you feel like, oh man, I'm going to miss out on these opportunities. But you're also avoiding the loss, which you don't know where they'll come or how big they'll be. But once you walk away, you've locked it up for the day. So I don't know. I'm not sure what I'll do tomorrow, if I'll take my profits a little faster and walk away, and then potentially miss opportunities that come later in the day, and then feel FOMO that I could have done so much better if I kept trading. The thing with having a $3,000 winner in the first 5 minutes is that sometimes that's the beginning of a day where I can be up $8, $10, $12, $15,000 because everything is working. But instead, my second trade was a loser. So a little bit of a tricky day. The markets continue to be difficult. We were seeing a lot of halts today. Halts going up, halts going down. Overall market is coming back down. So we gapped up, and now we're back down really pretty close to yesterday's lows, which is not really what probably most people want to see. TVIX, the fear index or the volatility index, this has been really crazy, but it's not as high as it was yesterday. Even though the market is back down to almost the same price as yesterday, this is not as high, which shows a little bit of a divergence. The VIX, yeah, similar. Obviously similar because they're derivative. TVIX is derivative of the VIX, but this is just lower price. So anyways, I'll be back at it tomorrow. Hopefully we see some nice momentum out of the gates. I can build a cushion and keep it in my pocket. So, if I continue to trade, I can continue to make a little bit more without risking having a big drawdown and giving back all of my gains, because that can feel really kind of demoralizing. So happy to be just finishing stay in the green for the third consecutive day. All right, that's it for me. I'll see you guys first thing tomorrow morning. Bye, everyone.
Hey, it's me again. The most popular video on day trading on YouTube was made by me. You can check it out below if you haven't already. And as always, if you have questions, leave them in the comments. I personally respond to every question that's posted on my channel.